So now, after you undo those four for the suspension, you'll just take that off. You'll just take that off. And if you happen to notice, I sort of snapped that. I don't know how I'm going to replace that. Could you please comment on how I could replace that? I snapped that off. And so this is the shock tower. Remember I said I was going to keep the screws in, but you would have just taken it off, so it's just a lot easier. Just pop all that stuff off. Next step is to undo these. Like that. And then take that off. You can just use something like this. This was already bent before, don't worry. And you can just stick it behind there and then pry it off. And I'll show you. Just like with this, I did the same exact thing. Okay. And this would come off. And you just go ahead and get that pin out. Okay, make sure not to lose that. Do not lose that. Okay, and this just slide off. So there's like a whole bunch of dirt, so I need to clean that before I slide it off. Then you should be able just to slide it off. So do that both sides. Remember, just pry that off. After you've taken this off, pry that off. Undo that pin, and you can basically slide everything off. That's the next step. Okay, so after you've removed those little pins here, just like that. First taking that off, then prying this one, slipping that off. Then you basically just slip this whole thing off, just like that. Keeping the screws where they should be. And a little tip on how to keep the pin there with this and that all together so that you don't mix up anything is to put this inside there, just like it was. Slide this on there so that it's covering that, it. And then screw this on there so that it's pressing against this, and then it keeps it on there just like this. You see, and then it keeps the little pin in there. The pin stays in there, this stays, and all that stays. Then you have that, and it's not going to interfere with anything. So then you have the whole setup right there. This little tip. Okay, this moves on to the next step, which is almost last one, is to basically remove those two screws that are connected to the bulkhead. So go ahead and remove those two for now. Okay, now after you've removed those two, go ahead and remove those two. Should have just put it in the last step, but I didn't. Go ahead and remove that. Okay, and that's basically your next step. So basically after you've unscrewn those two screws, I couldn't get them out. I probably have to tip it over. But after you get those two out, the bulkhead should be free, and it should basically just drop out. Like under here, got disconnected, but that's fine. You can just connect that back up. Basically, you can just like slide these off. And there's your old bulkhead taken off. See, that's where you can see where I snapped it. Look, it says rear right. So there you go. That's basically how to remove a bulkhead. It's pretty simple, I guess. You just need to reconnect that up when you put the other one, or you could do it one at a time and then put the aluminum one here. Okay, then take this one off, then put the aluminum one back on. So then it can just keep it there and you don't have to like reconnect anything. That's basically how to do that. And yeah, so now you just basically, next step is basically to get your new bulkheads like that and fit it on there. And it depends on like what different kind of sets you get, like the different companies, like RD Logics or something like that. They might or might not come with different screws and etc. This has a whole bunch of different screws, so I'm going to be swapping out all the screws and putting aluminum bulkheads. So that is basically how to do it. So yeah, next step is basically to just go ahead and put the aluminum ones in. Okay, so after you do all the steps, you can put everything back together. And with the FLM bulkhead, you just put the same exact top screw, and on the bottom they give you your own pins with little clips, on them, and you can just put that on. And whenever you're screwing into metal or anything like that, make sure to use some thread locks so the screws don't get undone, just like with the skid plates and all that. And if you do not have thread lock, you can always just use some nail polish like I did. Nail polish works just as well, and it's cheaper, and you can find it anywhere, or almost anywhere, like Rite Aid or something. So yeah, that's how you do it. And then your shock tower should be going there, except like I said before, I broke my shock right there. And I just cleaned all these. This is a great opportunity for cleaning. But other than that, you just screw in the 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And make sure to add your nail polish or thread lock. And that's basically how to install a bulkhead on an E-Maxx 3906.